tonight we'll be doing this class, which is how to conduct interview and workshop, which will help you guys going forward because a lot of you will be meeting with your PO. And I just want to say that I'm going to need a volunteer. So you're going to this volunteer will act as the PO, the product owner. You tell me about, imagine a website, or maybe you have a business, or like if you have a business, good for you. So you can imagine that you want to create a website, and then I'll be the PA and that wants to gather your requirements. So it's just going to be a very interesting class. I'll just talk about we'll talk about the basics of this, what it is, the theory, the basics, basically, and then um, yeah. So we're going to go through what interview and workshop technique, how to use either of them to carry out your elicitation and gather your requirements. So what is interview like as a BA? Like is one of the most popular, the most used, the most the I mean it's very easy to use the interview technique. However, any of this technique is based on the project you're working on. So if you have a large size project that you have so many stakeholders in that project, definitely I would advise you to go for face-to-face interview because it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to be time consuming, be exhausting for you and exhausting for your stakeholder. So you should opt for the workshop technique, which means you're going to gather a lot of stakeholders in a room and then gather your requirements. However, so um some background to what is interview like is one of the most popular business analysis technique. It's used to verify facts, clarify ambiguity, trigger enthusiasm, engage end users, identify requirements, and solicit opinions and ideas. I know some of you have been to your PO and you guys are trying to gather requirements from your PO. Some of you might see some of the mistakes you made tonight, and yeah, some of you will avoid some of the mistakes that you go into that meeting with, so you have more understanding going into the meeting. So yeah, some of the reasons why you should opt for an interview technique above others. So interview offers the analyst an opportunity to establish rapport and trust with the interviewee. So you are interviewing somebody, like, first things first, don't just jump straight into, oh, this is why I'm here. At least ask for their day, Adewumi, how are you today? Hope you're doing okay. Oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm very well. Now I'm trying to get Adewumi to be relaxed and be in that environment or in that space of um like, we might not be friends. I'm not saying become a friend to your stakeholder, but be cordial. Like, be very cordial. Don't just throw questions in their faces the first time you just see them and just start rushing them with questions. So be calm, like ensure that they are calm. They might have had a really hectic day. Find out, oh, how was your day, or how are you doing? Okay, yeah. So explain the purpose of the meeting, which you will see as we go along how to, like, step by step of which is not limited to, but some of the things that you can do to start out an interview. Another thing is allow the interviewee to respond freely and openly to the question, especially when the location is private. So find a private place and then ensure that they can answer. Like, make them really relax so that you are not making them feel like, oh, the question, I mean, the answer you are giving doesn't make sense. Even if it doesn't make sense, there's a way for you to redirect the question so that, like I said the last time, you are the driver of the meeting and you are the one that knows the exact requirement you want to get out of the stakeholder. So you need to ensure that you drive that meeting in that manner. So allow them. Like, There are times that you meet SMEs that will go overboard with whatever. Don't say, oh no, that's not what I'm asking. Allow them finish, then bring them back to, oh, thank you very much. Oh wow, yeah, that's so informative. But could you help me? Like, can I just clarify this, and this with you? Oh, okay. Oh, that's very interesting. How about this, and this? Because you are the one who knows the requirement, and that's why it's very good for you to go into that meeting with questions, like pre-prepared questions, because you are supposed to drive the interview, or the requirement gathering session, the elicitation meeting. Interviews provide an opportunity for the analyst to ask follow-up questions or reward the question to get instant feedback from the interviewee. Very important. Like like I said, you can always, that's one of the good things, because you can read body languages. You can, like, for instance, you are doing an interview with someone, and then um if the person, maybe the person says one word that you don't understand, or you want to, like, understand from that point. Okay, oh, you are saying that you want us to create the header, so what would you like to be on the header of this page? Or you want us to um you want us to you want to build this house. For instance, if you were employed into maybe a company that is maybe a building company, and then you are the business analyst there, and then they are sharing, oh, this is the product mandate, we want to build um like 10 houses in this land. So your question will be, oh, interesting, so how many rooms will you like it to be? And then they start to give you the breakdown of all the rooms and everything, and then you can ask, oh, okay, so what type of floors are you going to have? So in a situation whereby a client complains about a leakage, what do you do? Is it now in your hands? Like, do you get, so we are feeding off their responses and getting, like, you can ask follow-up questions from those responses they give you, so that you can get clarity and cover every scenario. Remember, you're working with scenarios of what's the possibility of whatever, what can happen, how can we make this website really great and beautiful, or how can we make this project, like, how can we deliver on this project, this particular project? So whatever project it is, it's not just websites. But the reason I'll be using a lot of website references is because of what you guys were working on. You guys are working on all the projects are website based. So yeah, so that you can have understanding and then get clues from here. So interviews present an opportunity for analysts to observe non-verbal clues. It's not everything that an interview can put into words. So notice when they are uncomfortable, notice when, oh, they are excited about a particular, so you ask a particular question and their voice just go really why, like, it's just bright and everything, or their voice go dim, so know when to stop, know when to, like, hit the question. So those are the things, because you're communicating with somebody one-on-one. And yeah, so yeah, those are the opportunities that interview gives to you, um as a business analyst. So what are the cons? Like, what issues can arise from using interview technique? Um, some of it, interview can be time consuming to prepare for. In most cases, the analyst has to spend a significant portion of their time preparing the interview question and gathering as much background information as possible. Asking questions has to be careful and to ensure the interview gets the the analyst get the most out of the interview session. Like I was saying, and like I've said in the previous class as well, that you have to do your background check. You have to, like, don't go into any elicitation meeting without having questions prepared, because the thing is, it's time consuming. It's not like it's not easy for someone to just say, oh, I'll give you my time, and then you come and you guys are just looking at each other's faces, or you expect the PO to drive the meeting. That's not gonna happen many times, except they are very nice. But they wouldn't see you as somebody who knows what he or she is doing. So always go into that session with questions. Like, even if you don't have, for instance, if the mandate has been given to you, find out, go online, research something close. Even if it's a website that has never been built, research something close. Okay, I want um maybe I want a website whereby ten people can work at the same time, or like I'm sure when chat GPT was being created, like there were BAs that had to elicit requirements, and they had to, like, they use, if you noticed, I don't know if any of you have ever tried it out. If you notice, it's similar to Google, but now they took the things that Google cannot provide and then built on it. And that's what competitive analysis does. So when you do competitive analysis or comparative analysis, what it does for you is you are able to see the things that are lacking in maybe a product that is similar to yours. But because guess what? Nothing is completely new. We are just building upon existing knowledge and making it way better than before. So yeah, you are trying to look at what can you give, what do people want that this particular thing that you are using as a case study is not providing, or you are comparing to is not providing. And then you want to, like, go into that. And because while you are asking your questions, another thing that is happening to your stakeholder is your stakeholder is beginning to think bigger and expand their mind. So even some things that they never thought that, oh yeah, that's a possibility. Oh, okay, I think we can explore that. Those are the things. So you're giving them the light bulb, the aha moment. So always go into that session with questions every time. Try. I know you guys are new, but yeah, from this point forward, try to go into your elicitation meeting with questions. Yeah, training is often required to conduct effective interviews. The effectiveness of interview naturally depends on the interviewer's knowledge of the business domain. Like I said, it ties into the first one. You need to do research. You can't just say, I'm going to sit down and wait. Like, do the research. Try to, like, do as much research as you can, because the more knowledge you have, the better for you when you go for that interview session. So it gives you, but if you don't have it, these are the issues. Like, it might take you time to start doing all this research. So those are the, I mean, these are some of the issues with interview, um, using the interview technique of elicitation. So yeah, you have to spend time. It's time consuming before you go into the interview session. Yeah. Interview can also be costly, especially where stakeholders have to be interviewed one at a time, or where the analyst has to travel to another geographical location to interview stakeholders. In some cases, the geographical dispersion of stakeholders may make it impossible for them to be interviewed by a face-to-face meeting. For such scenarios, interview can be conducted using web conference facilities or via phone. So imagine if you have like 20 stakeholders and all of them are important and they need to give their own requirements. Imagine using interview for them. God, that's a lot. Like, it's too stressful. It's a lot. So I don't think interview is effective in that case. And good for us, we have several elicitation techniques that we can use. So like I said from the start, it depends on what you're working on. It depends on the project. It depends on the size of the project. Now in Blue Sky, you guys are talking to only your product owner, who is your, yeah, like the major stakeholder that you are get eliciting requirement for. So you can easily do a one-on-one interview or one-to-one interview. Yeah, you can do that. It's easier to do that. But in a situation whereby you have to speak to like 20, 50, even 10 stakeholders to get your requirement, imagine the amount of time you will spend going from each of them. Like, I have to speak to Adewumi, I have to speak with Soya, I have to speak to like all of you, I have to speak to like 50 of you guys so that I can get my requirement. That's a lot of time. That's not, I mean, that's time consuming. The outcome of interview is largely dependent on the analyst's human relation, personality, and influencing skills. Where these traits are lacking, the interview results can turn out to be extremely poor. Yeah, that's very true, because if you don't have interpersonal skills, it's hard to do an interview. It's hard to conduct an interview because you might not get the most out of it. Imagine you go to someone who has had a rough day, and then they're trying to interview the person, and the person is giving you all the wrong vibes, like, please, I'm not interested, I'm so tired. So how do you deal with someone who is very tired, and then you want to get your requirement out of them? How do you deal? So you have to have interpersonal skills. You have to know how to influence. You have to get them to be relaxed. You have to make sure that they are comfortable. So that's what I was trying to explain earlier. So it's, yeah, interview skills is not like, it's not um it doesn't come off easy, but if you know how to do it, it's a very good technique to use, because you will get almost everything you need at the spot. So you are able to like ask questions over and over again, about this technique. Yeah. So now we go to the don'ts of interview, of using the interview technique. The first one is, don't nitpick on your interview plan details. Plan the interview well, but since interview require a bit of spontaneity for it to work for both interviewer and interviewee, give yourself some flexibility in the way you ask the question. No interviewee wants to listen to an interviewer who is clearly only going through a rundown of pre-recorded questions. It doesn't make a sincere and compelling discussion of needs and requirements. In practice, you can write a few main questions. As stakeholder talk, use their answer to formulate follow-up questions that will then maneuver the conversation to know the problem or to uncover requirements. So I think I've kind of touched on this. From, of course, always go into an interview session with questions. Don't go without questions, because it will be your starting point. But as the interview flows, don't just be rigid. Like, if you can, or if you know the timing to crack a joke, ensure that people are relaxed. Like, let people let people find ease of talking to you, because the point is you want to get everything you want to get. But remember, you're talking to a human being. So you cannot just go there and be like, oh, I'm here for requirements and that's what I'm here for. Build rapport. Ensure that you are not just running through questions. Of course, at the start, you might make that mistake, but as you go along, you get better and better and better at it. So definitely, as the stakeholder is giving you responses, you can follow up with another question and say, oh, what do you think about it? Oh, okay, I found this. I mean, during my research, I found this. What did you think? And then they answer, oh, okay, what do we would do this and like that. So you just find a way to keep the conversation flowing during the interview session, such that it's not all over the place and it's not rigid and it doesn't look real. And Yeah, so it's very, very important. Don't do that. Don't make the interview feel uneasy. It's not a cross examination session. Yeah, don't like if somebody is if somebody is giving you a response that you don't like, ensure that, because especially when it's face to face, be careful with your gestures, be careful with your facial expression, be careful with your tone of voice. Don't make the interviewer, the person you are interviewing feel like, oh, I'm stupid. Oh, this person thinks I'm not making sense. Even if you feel you are not making sense, that's how that because you drive the meeting as the BA, you are driving it. Find a way to get it back to what you want at the end of the day. So be careful when you are interviewing. So even if you feel like, oh, is this all? Don't say, oh, is this all? You can ask, there are ways to ask the question. You can say, oh, um, yeah, I see that you've given me this requirement. Oh, you want us to create the landing page, the header and the footer. Would you like any other thing on the landing page? Based on my research, I found out this can be on the landing page. I feel like if we do that, it will make the page more appealing, and it will give users, like it will help users interaction with the website. What do you think? So now I don't feel like from what I just did, I feel like I've not gotten enough requirements. But instead of saying, is that all? I have rewarded it completely so that I still get what I want from it. And if the stakeholder says, oh, ah, I want to keep it really simple and I just want it to be like that for now. Maybe I can look into improvement. Or even if they say I can, okay, I just want to keep it simple. Oh, okay, that's all right. That's fine. I'm happy with that. But are you thinking about improvement? Oh yeah, yeah. Maybe in a future date we can. Oh, okay, that's fine. We can work on enhancing the website if because of the first release you want the MVP to go out really fast. Okay, I'm happy with that as well. Okay, I'll just take this to the development team and then they can develop. So even though you are unsatisfied, don't make your stakeholder or the person you are interviewing feel like, oh, you just said trash. You have not given me what I need. So know how to, yeah, like I said, yeah, ease them into the process and convey the message you are collaborating to get to the solution of the problem. It's very, very important. Don't ever make anyone feel uneasy because you are trying to get requirements. That's not your job. As a business analyst, you are managing people, and I think you guys are going to have lectures on how to manage stakeholders and all of that. So you're managing people. It's people over processes. The reason why people now employ business analysts compared to, of course, there's still project management. Project management is focused so much on the project. Like we have to, oh, this is the project, we have to do it, we have to finish this project, and oh, this is the date. Oh, we cannot refine any, no, we cannot do anything. Well, we business analysts, as much as we care about the project, we care about the people on the project. So we are working with human beings and we take cognizance of these human beings that we are working with, and we want to ensure that they are good. I'm not saying there are not times that you will not, there are times that you will disagree, but there's a way to disagree with your stakeholders, definitely. So it's not like you say, oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 we cannot take that on board. There are ways, like you ask questions and make them see. At the end of the day, when you're asking certain questions, they begin to see what you mean at the end of the day, but not just outrightly saying, pushing people out. Of course, in project management, they give so many no's and say no because this is the project, you signed it off, and that's it. There's no flexibility. We are moving to the very end, and that's what we are going to do. But as business analysts, we think about the people over the process. Yeah. Um, yeah, don't lead the interviewee on. Unintentionally so, especially in the case of season B, it's easy to jump right to the solution part, even if you've not fully captured the requirements from certain stakeholders. This is true for cases when the stakeholder isn't very forthcoming and allow the business analyst steer the conversation to the part the BA desires. The BA says, I think this is what you mean, and you need this to be able to do that, blah, blah, blah. And the interview says, okay, don't do that. Be careful. Be careful. It's easy to fall into that trap of saying, oh, I think this is what you mean. Don't ever think that this is what they mean. Don't make assumptions for them. Don't make assumptions for them. So yeah, ensure they ease into the process gradually. Of course, you will always give opinions on solution, but be careful, especially when a person isn't forthcoming. Be careful not to say, oh, I think this is what we should do, or oh, this is what you need. Of course, you might have an idea of what they need in the future, but be careful so that you can get everything you need. So ask your questions, follow up, and then maybe you see that they are struggling to like give responses, or like just ensure that you are not um you are not steering them in the direction of, because you might give solution that might not really work for them at the end of the day. And because they just want the interview to end, they just tell you, okay, okay. Imagine you go for an interview, and I mean, you're interviewing a stakeholder, and then you say, oh, this I think this will work, and they say, okay, oh, what do you think about, oh, okay, like you're not getting anything, and you need to understand what the problem, you need to understand the pain points, because without the pain point you might not be able to give the exact solution. So be careful. It's easy, yeah, it's very easy for us to fall into this trap, including myself. But yeah, it's very important for us to listen, like listen actively, look out for body language when we are doing interview. I mean, when we are conducting interview. So these are some important, very important traits. Don't lead them on. Don't try not to lead them on. Don't rely on your own interpretation alone. One manifestation of active listening is when the interviewer actively paraphrases what he hears from the interviewee. When a stakeholder articulates something, take a moment to process it and echo the thought back to the stakeholder. One thing I do in most of my meetings with stakeholders is I ask that, oh, 1 minute, please. Um, this is what you said. I just want to confirm. Is this what you said regarding this? And they said, oh, yes, that's what I said. Okay, I just wanted to clarify and be sure. Because, I mean, gathering requirements, you just really need to be sure so that you don't get the wrong thing to the development team. Remember, whatever you have written is what the development team will develop at the end of the day. And if anything goes wrong, they are coming back to the business analyst. So um echo back as many times as possible so that you are sure of what you heard and what they said. Yeah. So if what you said back is not what they said, they will instantly tell you, oh no, that's not what I said. This is what I said. Okay. And you guys are good. So it's like ensure that you play back what they said, like what you heard them say back to them, so that you can properly document the requirements. You can properly document the requirements so that you can send it back to them for validation. If that makes sense. Okay. Oh, I forgot to edit this. Apologies for this. Um, yeah. So to some of the process of carrying out an interview is not limited to this, but some of them. The first thing is to identify the stakeholders to be interviewed. Who are your stakeholders to be interviewed? Who are the people that you want to interview? know them, know the people that you plan on interviewing, and then go ahead to schedule the interview. Go ahead and schedule the interview, and put in a time in their calendar. If it's a workplace, like for Blue Sky, send them a message on Telegram. Like, not every one of you, don't bombard them. Don't bombard your POs. um, like, have a representative. That's why you need a BA lead. Like, you guys should collaborate as business analysts. All of you would, like, the elicitation will not be one after the other. All of you will go together and elicit requirements. So at least, like, now you've identified, you've your POs have been, you've identified your PO, the person that you will be gathering requirement from. Schedule a date for the interview, and then prepare. Preparation means, um it means that you're going to do your research, put your questions together for the interview, in preparation for the interview. Um, if you can, send them the question, because it helps them prepare before coming for the interview. It's good if you can send them the questions before the date. So send them some questions, some of the questions you like to ask them, so they can think through it and say, oh, okay, yeah, when they come for the interview is almost seamless. Arrive before time. No stakeholder wants to wait for you. No stakeholder, like, it's not always nice when you give somebody a particular time and then you are arriving maybe exactly at that time or coming late. I don't think it's fair, because you are banking on people's time. And yeah, so arrive before time. At least 5 minutes before. It's not bad, to be honest. Even if it's an online meeting, arrive on time. Don't
I don't have time for that.
Please be muted if you are not speaking. Thank you very much. So arrive on time on the day. If anything is going to happen and you're going to be late, please inform the stakeholder. This also goes out to your mentors on this platform and your body. If anybody puts a meeting with you, or you guys put a meeting with anyone, whether your PO or your mentor or your body, please arrive on time, because it's not really nice when they have to wait for you. Make sure you arrive on time. Then open the interview. How do you open the interview? Tell the person the reason for the meeting. So don't assume that, oh, I've sent an invitation, so they should know. So that way, like, you are trying to make everybody relax. So the essence of this meeting, thank you very much for coming. Thank them. The purpose of this meeting is because, whatever the because is. So yeah, it's very, very important that you do that. Very important. Then conduct the interview. After conducting the interview, you ask your questions, you do your follow-up questions and answer, and yeah, all the mal, get your requirements. So one I didn't include here is you have to close the meeting. How do you close the meeting? So thank you very much for your time today. Thank you so much for coming. If you need to have a follow-up meeting, set the meeting at in that meeting that you have, take advantage of it and set the time again in that meeting. And then after that, you can tell them, oh, is it okay if I send you an email with some clarification if you need to? Yeah. Or send you a message with some clarification if need be. Yeah, yeah, that's okay. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much for coming. I really, really appreciate your time. I don't take it for granted. Have a great one and have a wonderful evening, or whatever the time may be. And then we close the meeting. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's for the interview. So this slide is going to be really short because we'll be doing a lot of practical session, and then we're going to that of workshop. Requirement elicitation workshops are a great way to discover requirements. They are a key tool you can use to quickly elicit a majority of requirements on your project. Unfortunately, many workshops don't get the anticipated value. A well-run requirements workshop is engaging, valuable, and even more. So yeah, like I said, each of these elicitation technique is dependent on your project. So workshops are great, great for large projects. You have large stakeholders. Like if I want to elicit requirement from all of you guys, now we're gonna do a workshop. I can't do one-to-one interview with you guys. It's a lot. You guys are too many. So yeah. So it's a very great way to like quickly get your requirements from large set of people. Of course, you can ask them, like you can put together a slide and ask questions. You can ask them to write. You can give them a sticky notes and ask them to write um, their suggestions, put it on the wall, and you guys will then go through each of it together. You can collaborate on a whiteboard too. Yeah, so yeah, you can quickly ask questions from your your stakeholders. Yeah, so workshop method focuses on participatory hands-on learning, small group activity, and problem solving, peer and small group discussion. As a result, because of the active rather than passive nature of the experience, large numbers of learners are motivated to participate and learn. Yeah, so it's a very great place. Like it's a very, very great tool to use, to be honest, to gather your requirements. So of work, I remember attending a workshop, like I attended several workshops, but after presenting to these guys, oh, this is where we are at with this project, or and then they begin to ask a lot of questions. So we had a sample of the project. So we did prototyping and workshop. So prototyping in a workshop. So combining two elicitation technique. So we went there, we went into that meeting, showed them a prototype of the website, and then they began to ask a lot of questions, which we took back because those are our requirements. And then, yeah, we could say, they could say, oh, yeah, why is this? Are we going to get this? Can we have this? And then I was the person recording. So in a workshop, it's good to have another BA or assistance because you can't get everything by yourself. You can't be the person asking the question and taking notes at the same time. It could be a lot. You can miss out on some requirements. You can ask if it's okay for you to record the session, and if they say it's okay, or have somebody else, another BA, taking the notes for you on in there so that you can get all the requirements you need. Oh dear. Oh, so sorry. I made some mistakes in this my slide. Um, sorry. This is technique for workshop process. So sorry about this. I do apologize. So okay, 1 minute. I'm going to let me just edit this. Apologies. Okay. So the first thing is planning. You have to plan because you're putting a lot of people in a room and to gather requirements. So you have to properly plan. You have to plan for coffee breaks, tea breaks, refreshment, the questions. Yeah, it's very, very important because sometimes workshop takes the whole day. It could take a whole day. And then you have to plan the breaks in between. You have to plan, oh, when are we going for lunch breaks, when are we going for coffee break, when are we going for whatever, whatever break or whatever you want to do in the middle. Yeah. And you have to plan how your questions will flow. You have to plan with taking notes. So there's a lot of planning going into workshop. So yeah, it's very important. The second thing is you also have to open the meeting. Just like for every meeting you create as a business analyst, you have to open it. Like inform the people that came. Even if you sent out an email and said, "Oh, this is what this meeting is about," it's very important that you come, like when people are gathered, you say, "Oh, thank you so much for coming. The purpose of this meeting is this particular thing." That and yeah, before you then start to go ahead and talk away. Yeah. And the third thing is execution. Now that you've opened the meeting, then what is your plan? Are you going to use a whiteboard? Are you going to use a sticky note? So of course you have to ask questions. You have to go with questions as well, because you want to gather. You are gathering requirements. So requirements start with questions, and then you begin to. So you can say, "Oh, like," because there are different stakeholders and they will have different opinions. So maybe somebody from the finance team, somebody from comms, from communication, somebody from HR. So all of them will have different things that they want this new software to do. So they write it, you put it maybe on the whiteboard, and then you guys start to discuss. You got to talk about it, so that you can prioritize. You can know which one is going first, which one is the biggest priority, and then um yeah, make opinions, give your opinion, and say, "Oh, I think based on what you guys want to achieve, this should be the priority." Like, I think so. It's not like you're being definitive or giving, because in workshop it's easy for you to have conflicting requirements or requirements. So somebody is saying, "No, my requirement is the most important or the priority," and the other person is saying, "Oh no, mine should go first, this." So you need to find out why. When they say mine should go first, you need to ask why. You have to ask the why question. Why is it going first? What's the importance? If it goes, if it doesn't go first, what will be impacted? What's the impact? How great is the impact, and all of that. So yeah, those are some of the things. So you ask the questions, you ensure that you get play back to them. You go back and forth, and yeah. So take and of course you take breaks in between because it's big. Then you close the meeting. "Thank you very much for coming, guys. Blah blah blah." If it's going to be another day's meeting, like if the workshop continues, maybe it's a 2-day workshop, 1-day workshop. Yeah, you close the meeting ending with "what's next," and then you follow up, which is the validation of all the requirements that you've gathered and all of that. Yeah, so that is the slide. That's all the slide um for this. Any question before we go to the practical part of it? Any question? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay,
Thanks.
okay. Isaac. Hi, Isaac. Yeah.
Please, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. One of the points that you gave us is that we should not lead them on,
Yeah.
and I think there is a thin line between leading them on and prompting them to get more information. So how do we take care not to cross that line? And if
Yeah.
you get that.
I do get that question. Yeah, I do agree. It's a very, very thin line. It's a very, very thin line. To be honest, I think that we should just, understand the the persons your stakeholders. Read the room, understand the stakeholders, understand how they've been responding to your questions. Like if they are just the okay stakeholders, know when not to suggest. You get what I mean? Like if they are just like you ask them a question or you make a suggestion and they are saying okay, maybe you should hold back for some minutes and not. I mean, don't make any promptings or don't make any suggestions. Allow them and say, oh, okay, um yeah, maybe you can ask more questions. Maybe some of the questions that you've written down, maybe you can ask more questions, because when you're asking more, you can prompt them to talk about the requirement, so you're focused on the requirement rather than prompting them into the solution that you think. Of course, you already have some solutions that you think, but it's not definitive or it's not like, oh, this is the final. But yeah, understand it, because it's like you said, is a very very thin line. But I think that the kind of stakeholders that you're working with will help you know when to adjust. So, I mean, if you're working with, like, if you're doing an interview session with a stakeholder, it's easy. And that's why interview is very, like, is good, because you can read the mood, you can read the countenance, you can read the facial expressions, you can read the tone. You can know when this person is just like an okay person, and you know when to pull back. I don't know if I answered your question. So it's I mean, as we the more you elicit requirement, the better you get at it. It's a technique that like it takes time, but yeah, it's something that is doable. I don't know if I answered your question, Isaac.
Yes, yes, yes. That's fine. Thank you.
You're welcome. Adewumi.
Yes, thank you. Um, just a quick question is to find out this is tapping into your previous experiences and your present experience. So don't look at it as an interview question, please. So you've come across someone who's difficult. I know you've mentioned it earlier, but I just wanted to drill down a little bit more into it. So you've come across a difficult SME or someone from the senior leadership team or a stakeholder who's not, who's really cold towards you. You're doing everything to get information out of them. Has it ever happened where you have to escalate it or any other? I mean, how do you take that further? I mean, I
Yeah,
presume you'll do your best to get as much as you can out of the person. But in the situation where you think that person wasn't really forthcoming and could have done better,
yeah,
do I then go back to my PO, I'm presuming, or PM and say, not quite what I was expecting, but
yeah,
or do you book another session, remembering how difficult it was for you to get this guy or this person? You know, I just want to shed some more light on how you've dealt with that, please.
yeah. That's a very good question. Yeah, it can happen, to be honest. So when you've tried all that you know how to do, go back to your line manager and say, oh, these are my concerns. This is what I've done. This is how this person responded, and yeah, I've tried everything that I can do. Of course, your line manager is not going to say, oh, get out, go and try again. No. The line manager might then step in as a mentor for you and then say, oh, okay, how about, oh, I know this person, I can speak to the person, I can help you speak to this person. Or they can say, oh, yeah, I think you should try this. Or, oh, you can talk to this person instead of this person, since you are not getting the most out of this person. You get, so when you've tried everything and you feel like you've exhausted all your options, you can go to your line manager and speak to your line manager, and yeah, nobody is going to beat you. Yeah, just joking. But yeah, nobody is going to shut you down and say,
Okay.
oh, you shouldn't come to me because you have
Yeah.
difficulty. That's the whole point of working in a team. It might not necessarily be your PO. You might not, like, you will have a line manager. Your PO might not be your line manager, and but in a situation where your PO is your line manager, great, very good, because of course your PO understands where you're coming from, because your PO must have definitely gathered requirements before.
Okay. Brilliant. Thank you.
You're welcome. Ginika.
Hi, thank you so much. It's not kind of a question, it's just like clarification.
Yeah, sure.
First of all, with all you said, it's like okay, go for it. There's a support system irrespective from your team to put you in to understand what you need to do and how to do it better, right?
Yeah.
Then the second thing is this, with regards to the practical which you are going to do. I just want to understand all you said. There's a project mandate.
Yeah.
As BA, I'm supposed to read it, understand it, research about the likely question I'm to ask that will make the stakeholders to give me the accurate questions. I mean, accurate answers I need with regards to the mandate, right?
Yeah. So the thing
Yeah,
is, you
yeah.
are not researching for the right questions. You are researching on that project, like what project
Mm-hmm.
is similar to this project. For instance, what project are you working on? What's the name of your project? Not your project name, but the name of your project.
The name of my project.
Yeah.
It's new. Pardon me. Let me just check.
Yeah. So it's on the info. Like, is it that you're
It's
working on major
prep
or long
major instructor too.
So, okay. So, for instance, now you're working on prep major. They're giving you the project mandate as, oh, this is a, this is um, they want that all instructors are able to upload their courses on that website and they're able to see visibility of it. And I mean, I'm just taking it from my head. Okay.
Mm-hmm,
So now, which other company offers this kind of thing? The first thing that comes to my mind is Udemy. Udemy does something similar. Now I have to start researching. Okay, aside Udemy, I go on Google. Okay, learning management system. I start typing. I look for different learning management system. I begin to research what are their functionalities. What functionalities do they have? Oh, these are their functionalities. I write it out. I go on another one, I write it out, and then I'm beginning to compare and I'm seeing, oh, some of the functionalities that they have. Now they've given me the project mandate here that, oh, this is the project mandate. So I'm thinking, okay, now what now I've never seen Prep Major is a new project. I don't know what it looks like, but they already told me that this is what they want to achieve. So I've seen similitude. I'm not looking, okay, what do Udemy have that I can suggest that we can do to make better? But when not immediately I get into my meeting, I will say, oh, I think you should try this. No, like after asking certain questions and seeing where the question goes. So all those my research will then drive how I can put together my question because I've done certain research. Now it will drive, okay, um, what do you want to achieve with this project? What solution do you think what solution do you want us to um what solution do you want to bet? What's the pain point you want to address with this project? Okay, what's the look? What look do you want for your website? What's the color you want for your logo? What color do you want for your logo? Where do you want your logo to be placed? Okay, why do you want it to be placed at that side? Oh, okay, here's the reason. Okay, where do you want your header to be? Like, how do you want the header? I mean, what functionalities do you want on your header? Because we know header is permanent. So on the landing page, what are the things that you want us to put there? How do you want it? What kind of font do you want? So this thing looks like tiny questions, right? But they are very important because if you miss it
Mm-hmm.
and then you give the stakeholder something that you assume in your head, you've
Mm-hmm.
messed up the project. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? So you don't
Very
leave them.
well.
So you see that I'm just taking these questions from my head based on the
Mm-hmm.
fact that, oh, it feels like I've gone to do my research and I've
Mm-hmm.
searched for different websites. I've seen how the website looks. I've seen the user experience of the website. I've seen the interface, how the interface of the website looks, and I've also seen, okay, these are some of the solutions that this website can give, and these are the solutions this website is giving, this other website is giving, and then so your research actually helps drive the question that
Mm-hmm.
you ask your stakeholder.
I
Understand?
think now I just really understand it. Like seriously, I've been wondering, okay, what do I research about? Yeah, I just read about the project manager. What now I get it. You get the project mandate, you look for a comparatively similar project like it, read
Yeah,
about it, ask questions. Oh, no, I get it. Thank you so much, really. Thank you so much. I get it now.
Yeah. Any other question before we go to the practical? Okay, so for the practical, I need a volunteer. So I'm going to be the business analyst, and you're going to be the PO, and you're going to tell me what you want for your project. And then, so you give me your project mandate so that at least I will know. So I will know.
Volunteer.
Oh
I
my
can
God.
be your PO.
Ah.
I've raised my hand first, too.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I sang my own.
Okay, so yeah, so we're going to do two things. We are going to try to do, if we still have time, we'll try to do the workshop, but we'll do the interview practical first, and then yeah, we go from there. So Ginika raised her hand first, but Adewumi said I'm
Yeah.
you first. So Adewumi, are you happy for Ginika to take it? Ladies first.
He doesn't have choice.
It's all
Wow.
right. Ladies first. No worries.
Wow,
No worries.
still bullying.
Thank you.
Adiola and Isaac, are these questions or you want to be happy?
Pio.
Pio, no. Pio, new Pio.
Oh, I already have
Pio.
a PO. Monica is already my PO.
We've already
Pio.
got a PO. We've got a
Well,
PO.
since we have different methods of gathering our family,
Yeah,
I think you can
definitely.
just use different methods for us.
Yeah, so we are going to do the practical for interview and that of workshop. So all of you will be
Okay.
stakeholder for the workshop. And then, yeah, I would just need somebody to provide us with a project that we can use for our workshop when we get to that part, if that's okay. So
Yeah.
anybody can start thinking about a project. So yeah, Adiola, do you have a question or you want to be my PO?
I want to be your PO.
Oh, I already have a PO. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
okay.
Unica is the
Hi,
PO.
Bolo.
Hi. Okay.
I
Uh,
raised my hand during the question session,
who is that?
but you
Okay.
didn't call
Me,
me.
you're last. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't see your hand. I'm so sorry. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, so I was just going to ask that in my understanding of elicitation, I don't know if it's correct, right? But what I understand it to be is that you're not just asking questions, you're also you might also get asked certain questions because the essence is to work towards providing the user, Abby, with something of value. I don't know if that's correct.
Okay, so elicitation is majorly you driving that session so that you get everything, all the requirements you need. Of course, the some stakeholders might ask you wanting to know how familiar you are with the project, but really you are the major person driving that elicitation meeting so that you are trying to get all the information you need for you to arrive at the solution. You get, so, but they might ask you certain questions. How do you, I mean, what do you think about certain things? But it's majorly you driving that. Yeah, for
Yeah.
instance, in a
Oh, okay.
situation like the example I gave about the insurance, I mean, the insurance company I was working. So we prototyped the supposed website to them, and then it was a workshop because we had several stakeholders in that room, and then they started asking, oh, are we going to get this functionality? Is there a possibility to put this functionality? So it's possible that you
Mm,
ask questions, but it's in that requirement, like, is
mm,
at the end of the day to get the requirement. So even when stakeholders ask you those questions, it's because of the requirements. I mean, does that make
okay.
sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you. So my question
You have
is
another
it
one.
possible? Yes, this is the main question. That one was preamble.
Wow.
Yeah, that don't be scared. It's just one small question.
Okay.
Yeah, that. So is it possible that they can ask you certain questions that you really don't know, and it is okay to say that you really don't know, but you make your research and come back to them.
That's very very correct. Yeah, because you don't want to give them eye hopes. Don't ever do that. They will come and hold you on your neck. Yeah, so it's okay to say, oh yeah, can I get back to you on that? I've noted it down. For instance, like going back to the example I used, it was a third party company that was building the software, but with the BAs in the company, we're gathering the requirements to take back to the third party company. So when they ask us certain things and we don't know definitive,
Mm-hmm.
we say, oh, okay, we can find out if this is a possibility. You get.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a thing that even if it's your development team, like even if you guys are building this particular software internally or whatever it is that you guys are doing or whatever project you're working on,
Mm-hmm.
because you are just the BA, yeah, you are going back to the development team. So you can take it
Mm-hmm.
back to the development team and say, oh, is this a possibility? So you can say, I'll get back to you. I need to find out from the development team if this is a possibility.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
not a problem at all.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Don't ever overpromise a stakeholder. Don't do it. Don't. It's better to underpromise and overdeliver, because if you do that, they will hold you. They will really hold you. They won't let you go until you deliver what you promised. Yeah. Ruth. Hi, Ruth.
Hi, hello. Yeah, please, I want to ask, when trying to gather your requirements, are you going to like gather them all at once? Like you are trying to build a website. Are you going to start from the beginning, like all requirements? Will it be too cumbersome? Like you are trying, you get to miss some things, or are you going to break your interviews into phases, into sprints or something? I don't
Yeah.
understand that.
Okay. Yeah. For Blue Sky, it's going to be like that. Yeah. For Blue Sky, it's going to be like that. So sometimes stakeholders will give you high level requirements, and then you have to like you keep asking them. You can send emails, like however, to clarify certain requirements, but there are times, and also you can gather requirements sprint by sprint, but that's if your stakeholder is available. You get, there are times that you will get your stakeholders, they will be very very available, and there are times that they might not. So of course, the requirements, you can get an overview of the requirements, like the entire scope of the project, and then begin to break it down into sprints. You're not going to take everything into sprints, but sometimes they might give you high level requirements, and then you begin to do your research, begin to go back with questions. So you as a BA, you keep asking questions. You can quickly catch somebody on Teams, maybe one of your stakeholders, and quickly say, oh, this. I wanted to clarify about this particular thing. But of course, you are going to break down those requirements into sprints for your development team, because they can't develop everything out, especially when you're working in agile. It's incremental. But in waterfall, you gather all the requirement at once and you document everything in your BRD in very big documents, and then people will go from that point. Yeah. But that's the difference. Yeah. Well, yeah, for Blue Sky, your PO, like you guys will gather requirements sprint by sprint, because you guys are just starting out, so we don't want to scare you guys. All right. Okay, thank you guys. I hope I've been able to answer everybody's question. Whoever is raising hand, and I did not see Ariel. Hi, Ariel.
Hi, sorry, it's actually Tolu here. I had to use my daughter's Teams. Quick question, please. Talking about sprint by sprint, I don't know if you've answered this previously, but who determines what requirements to gather per sprint?
Yeah, so that's your product owner, because they want to prioritize. It's your
Okay,
product owner that prioritizes requirements. What should go first? What should go next? What should, yeah.
correct. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, yeah, let's go into our role play. Ginika. Hi, Ginika. Okay. Good evening, Ginika. Thank you so much for coming for this meeting. I really do appreciate. Thank you for honoring this meeting. So I just wanted to ask, can you give me a quick overview of what you would like to achieve with this project?
First of all, thank you for having me in your meeting. But I don't know the topic yet, so what do I want to discuss about the project?
Oh wow, you were supposed to. You are the
Oh,
PO,
I'm
right?
supposed to give you the topic
You are
now.
giving me the project mandate. You've not told me anything about this. Is my first time of meeting you. You've not told me your project mandates. You've not told me
Okay,
anything about your project. So this
all
meeting,
right.
the very first meeting, you're going to give me the project mandate, and from the project mandate, I will then begin to
Mm-hmm.
ask certain questions because I want to
So can
understand.
I give you my team project mandate or
That's
something else?
that's playing smart. No, okay, David, is that a question or um is it for this? Hi, David.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I,
sorry.
I just wanted to be like your PO. I was hoping I could be.
Oh, okay. I
But
already have
since she doesn't know what she's gonna talk about, I was
No,
hoping.
no,
Oh,
no. I know what to do. I need to be sure
All
that
right,
it's my
okay,
project mandate or something else.
all
no,
right,
you can't
that's
use
okay.
the one for
Give us something
All
else.
right, no problem. I
that's
have a
the
project
other.
mandate.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. I have a project mandate. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much for coming now. Bolu. The project mandate is this NHS waiting list. I want to see how we can reduce the waiting list, build up a system, that we have um good data to know people that are left out with treatment and people that have been treated, and to just call them up just to reduce the waiting list to a minimal level. How do you go about that?
Hmm, okay. Okay. Thank you, Ginika. So can I ask what current software do you use to track the persons that are registered under the NHS that are waiting for treatment under the NHS?
And we at the moment we use track care to just but it's not really catching it up. There are so many backlogs.
Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah, so do you have any software in mind right now, or you will like us to maybe give it to a third party for us to create a new software?
Yeah, I would like you to give it to a third party. Like, I've been hearing of Azure, like it has cloud, it has a limited space, to store information and so many things there. So I don't mind as long as the waiting list just reduce. It's ridiculous.
Oh, okay. So for tracking, will you say that the major issue now is that if you don't have enough space to store the data of the patients that you have? Is that the major issue?
Yes, aside that limited space, it's always breakdown. Like,
Oh,
yeah, due to too much, information. So
okay.
system restart and all of that, yes.
Okay. Do you know the capacity, or I mean, the number of people registered to it, or the number of people that you have stored in the database? Can you give me a rough idea so that I can then research on the best um software that we can use going forward?
It all depends on each department. Like the A and E, it's like we have roughly 500 patient space to accommodate. And do you want the total?
No, yeah, you can just give me a rough idea so that, because you're saying one of the things I'm getting from what you're saying is because the system, the system, I mean, the software doesn't have the capacity for the number of
Mm-hmm,
people you have stored on
mm-hmm,
it. So
mm-hmm.
data,
Yeah.
the
Mm-hmm,
software is too little for the data that you're storing on it. So we need,
mm-hmm,
from what I'm hearing from you, we need a software that can kind of accommodate
mm-hmm.
or accommodate large number of data.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
At the moment, Royal Infirmary has a bed space of 10,000. to accommodate 10,000 patients. So the storage system is roughly 10,000 to 15,000 estimation, yeah, within
Yeah.
that range, yes.
Okay. All right. 10,000 to 15,000. So we need a software that can, that can store data beyond the capacity. Okay.
Exactly.
All
Yes.
right. Yeah. So your data storage now, like how do you impute data into the system? Is this something that you would like? Will you like? What's the current state of how you impute the data into the system? Is it something that is really slow for you, or is it makes you like? Is it very manual, or do you want to move from the manual way of doing it to automate it? What's the issue with your like imputing data into this particular software?
Well, I will say it's kind of hybrid, but with respect to that hybrid, 85% is manual and um, the remaining percent is kind of high tech, but at the moment it's kind of less say manual generally. So we need the speed, we need it to, flow as the world is turning to agile. So we need everything to evolve with speed and everything.
Yeah, okay. So from what I understand, can I
Mhm,
just can I just clarify what you need from what you've said? What I've
mhm,
gathered from some of the things that you've said now is that you need a software with a large capacity of data, and you need a
mhm,
software that will be fully automated instead of it to be manual, and you also
mhm.
need software that has speed, right?
Yes, 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 please, exactly.
All right. Also, I wanted to ask about the tracking of patients.
Mm,
Is it that you want the software to kind of track both um, inpatient and outpatient, or what do you envisage that you want the software to do as per um, tracking people who have been treated at inpatient and outpatient?
Yeah, I want both because due to the staff shortage, we are having difficulties in managing both inpatient and outpatient. So if the software can carry out that role, it will be very, very beautiful, please.
Okay, so we need a software that can also do reporting for us. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes,
Oh,
please.
all right. Okay. All right. Okay. Uh, I just want to reiterate back what you said. So the major issue we are trying to resolve now is that we want to ensure that we have a good reporting system whereby we can track the waiting list, so we can track our inpatient and outpatient, and we,
Mm-hmm,
we need a software that has a good data capacity, so that
mm-hmm.
it can capture a lot of data. So are you saying that you want to move to a cloud-based system rather than just having the software like it's just going to be installed and it's just going to be for just your machine, or you want it to be like you want to transition into a cloud-based software whereby we can have huge storage space, almost unlimited storage space, or you just want the software to be built in such a way that okay, you can still have maintenance and all of that?
I would appreciate the soft cloud-based system as long as it has unlimited space, and we are not tied down to this present one is a capacity estimated thing. We pay ahead upfront before we get our work done. But I think what I've read and heard, the cloud base is you pay as you go, and we want to really minimize costs, knowing fully well the strike and all of that. So a cloud base with high capacity and can solve all these problems will be much appreciated, Bolu.
Okay, so let's go to the look and feel of this particular software. So
Okay.
how will you like the interface to look like? What do you want on the header and on the footer or of the, I mean, what do you want on the dashboard generally? What do you want people to see? People that will be interacting with this website, what would you like them to see on the dashboard of the website of the software? Apologies, of the software.
Okay. What I want basically is to show that we still we still empathize with our patient and we are ready to show care. So a visual representation of, the medical staff showing care towards the patient will be appreciated as the header. While the footer, we can then write it in maybe our mission statement as the footer. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, that does make sense to me. However, for the for will you like for instance for the landing page, will you like a picture, a pictorial representation of like a medical personnel?
Yeah, a medical personnel who is carrying out his or her duty on a patient.
Okay, okay, that would be like what would
Yes,
be on the home page of the website.
yes,
Okay,
exactly.
that's understood. Will you also like for you to have a calendar functionality whereby patients can then see different consultants and then book a time with them rather than calling the
Oh,
clinic?
that would be wonderful. Yes, that would be wonderful because we've been having a lot of complaints with respect to the queue for calls and all of that. Yes, please, I would appreciate that.
All right. Okay. And so let me just reiterate back what we've discussed so far, if you don't mind.
Please go ahead, no problem.
So on the landing page, you want the representation of a medical personnel to also that is carrying out his duty on a particular patient. Is that
Mm-hmm,
what?
mm-hmm.
Okay. So then on the footer, you want your mission statement. However, will you also like for your contact to be on the footer as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, yes.
Okay. So like for some of the website I've seen, some of the things that are on their footer are like their about us, their
Mm-hmm,
contact us, their
mm-hmm,
mission statement. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
are these something that you like to consider or maybe not?
Mm, that sound nice. That sound nice. However, about us, is there no way you can link it together with the mission statement about us and the mission statement?
Oh,
I don't
that
want it to be too voluminous.
oh yeah, that's great. It's something that I can do. Yeah, definitely. So instead of
All right.
having about us, we're just going to have your mission statement, and that just represents
Beautiful.
who you are.
Exactly. Yes,
Right.
yes,
Thank you
exactly.
very much, Kinika. And
You're welcome.
also yeah, you want a calendar functionality whereby
Mm-hmm,
users can go in there, see their medical personnel,
mm-hmm.
then book a particular date and time with them.
Yes, miss. Yes, miss.
Okay. Yeah, so um another thing I wanted to ask is how do you want us to design the page for maybe registration and like how do you think you want us to design that page whereby because you're saying from what I get from what you're saying you want users to come in, so I
Mm-hmm.
believe that you want to have the database of most of the users so that you can actually um, know when they've received treatment and when they haven't, or you want to know okay they booked their time and you want to know when maybe they've concluded their treatment or whatever. So how do you want us to design that page, the look and feel of that page? Do you have an idea of how you want it to be?
Sincerely, I don't have an idea, but I would appreciate something that will give me a statistical measure every week of
Uh,
amount of patient I've had in a week and
uh,
treated and yeah, something like a feedback.
oh, okay. All right. Yeah, no, that also ties into the reporting, I believe. Okay.
Mm,
All right. I think I have an idea of what you want. However, I'll come back to you with a prototype of what I've
mhm.
put together, and if
Okay.
that's okay, maybe we can have another meeting because I don't want to waste your time. I mean, I put this meeting in for 30 minutes, and I really do
Mhm,
appreciate because you're a busy person. So
mhm.
can I come back to you next week with the prototype and show you, and then we can work things around with what I've designed? So I'll just bring a mock up and then I can show you how I've been able to mock up the website. So give you an idea of how the software will then look. Feel?
Mm, next week Tuesday by 10 o'clock a.m. precisely is fine by me. Thank you so much,
Okay,
Bolu.
thank you. Thank you so much, Ginika. So 10 a.m. on Tuesday. All right.
Mhm.
You so
Yes.
much for your time. I really do appreciate you coming today. And
Okay.
I will send you I'll send you this requirement so that you can sign them off and I mean validate it and then give me feedback on some of the things I've captured, and definitely on our next meeting I'll show you a mock-up of everything we've been able to discuss, if that's okay by you.
Absolutely. That's fine. Thank you so much, Bolu. I really appreciate all of this,
Thank you
and
so much.
I look forward to your mail. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Ginika. Have a wonderful night rest.
Same here. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Okay, we're done with our role play. Any question? Ginika, my PO, thank you very much for volunteering.
You're welcome.
You did so well.
Thank you.
Any feedback, any comment, any question? Mohammed, see your hand. Hi, Mohammed.
Me? Can you hear me?
Oh, now we can hear you.
Okay, I just want to check, like, there's always a mandate before we go out there to to the stakeholder, right?
Yes, there will always be a project mandate because without the mandate, you can't even understand the project. Yeah.
Okay, and let me ask you another one. Like, does PO interact with the stakeholder in another way, or it's just like, it's when BA has interacted, the PO doesn't have anything to do there again?
Oh, the PO talks to the big guys. So in a situation
Okay.
where you have a PO, so your PO talks to the big guys of like is the closest, your PO will be closest to the business, then your PO tells you what the business wants. But in a situation when you don't have a PO, you are the one going straight to the big guy, like going straight to the business to gather the requirements for the business. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I saw Bookie's and
Yeah, I was just going to say a very big well done to Ginika. Like, I really enjoyed her. She was very clear
Thank
with
you.
what she wanted. So I was very impressed. Well done.
but you're
Thank
not
you.
impressed by me. It's okay. It is well.
You are the professional now. As
Hey,
okay,
Yeah, prof
Bolu,
now.
well done
Me and
because you were not thrown off balance. As she was giving
I
it to
was
you, you were
just
giving
in
it
my
back.
feet, like impromptu.
Ukeme. Did I call your name right? I'm so sorry if I murdered your name. Thank you, Buki. Thank you so much.
Yes, you called it right.
Okay, Ukeme.
Hi. I noticed that you didn't offer any suggestion at all. I know that you talked about not leading the customer, but is it if you had a suggestion on how to approach it, is it not right for you to give your own suggestion as much as the customer would you want to take all that the customer wants, and the customer needs to be exact about what he or she wants. Is it okay for you to give your own comments or suggestions?
Yeah. If you noticed, I asked her about the footer. Like, I don't know if you listened to that part very well. I was like, oh, from some other website, this is what I've seen with the footer. And then she said, I don't really want about us. Can you put it together with the mission? So you can give suggestions, but you don't impose. You get, and then I gave her suggestions about calendar. So I was trying to, but as much as possible, I don't want to lead her on so that. But she's a very good stakeholder, because there are some stakeholders that will say, okay, like for her, I could actually chip in some things and say, oh, what do you? I mean, would you like a calendar functionality? Do you get? So these are like some suggestions I was giving, but at the same time you don't impose on the stakeholder. So your stakeholder can say no, I don't want that. And there, yeah, if you have suggestions on how to go about it and make it better, of course, and this is why you should do your research. But because this is on the spot, I've not done any research, I don't even know what this project looks like, trust me. So I was just going with the flow of what I think. And there are times that I was trying to process my thoughts. So yeah, but yeah, definitely you can give your suggestions. Why not? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. But sorry, a follow-up question. Now, have you had the situations that stakeholders will come and they're, although they want something, but they're really confused about how to, they're really confused about what they want.
Yeah.
And is it in your own, to guide them on how they should approach it when you say you don't lead them on? So
Yeah. There are some stakeholders that might not know what they want, but at the same time, you still don't impose. You can make suggestions. Like, especially if, for instance, I knew that, like from Ginica now, I knew that this calendar function, she didn't mention anything like that. I know she knows what she wants, but there are some things that, there are still some functionalities that she doesn't think that, oh, she didn't mention. So you can guide stakeholders, but be careful how you do it so that you are not the one imposing the solution, because stakeholders that don't know what they want, they are very, very dangerous to work with. The reason is, it's not like, no, they are good people, but the reason is they could change their mind and say, if you now give them a solution and they say, oh, okay, that's a nice solution, let's run with it. They come back tomorrow and they say, oh no, this is not what I wanted. Do you get? So be careful how you thread. You will know when a stakeholder does not really know what they want. They have an idea in their head, but it's not being, I mean, it has not come to full reality, or they don't, I mean, they've not completely processed it. So you guide them, but be careful not to also lead them on. So it's, there's a thin line, but just understand the person that you're speaking with so that you don't cross that line. I don't know if that makes sense. It's dicey, it's tricky, but this is our life as bees. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
yes, it does. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Adeolu.
Yeah, hi, Bolu. My question is, I think you mentioned that you already would have the mandate before you have that meeting with the PO. So in
Yeah.
a real life scenario, would you have had prior interaction with the business before having the PO, the meeting with the PO? Where do you get the mandate from? Obviously, the meeting with the PO is not your first meeting with the business, I
Mm.
think. So when do you get the money? Who gives you the, because now in Blue Sky they've given us the money, obviously because we're in training. So how does that happen in real life?
In real life, you would have gotten the money. So it's either the PO give, if you have a PO in your team, your PO will give you the mandate of the project and tell you, oh, this is the mandate of the project. So most first interactions will be about the mandate. So you guys are trying to, I mean, it's giving you the mandate, and then in that meeting, it's not bad to ask questions as well, like in the meeting of the mandate, because you're trying to understand what this mandate is about. You get? So because it's the mandate that will then drive your research, it's the mandate that will drive the questions, the specific questions you will come back with for the requirement gathering, like for
Okay.
you to gather requirement. But yeah, if you have a PO in real life, your PO will do that, because currently where I work, I have a head of product. I don't have a PO, but I have a head of product. But it's more like a PO, a Scrum Master, like all together. So there's this project when I came on board that I was supposed to start working on. It was one that gave me, oh, this is the mandate of the project. This is what we want to achieve. Do you get? So it might be very high level. Project mandates might not be written. Like, just prepare, be flexible, like be open-minded. Your project mandate might never be written. They can just give you a one-line sentence and say, oh, this is what we want to achieve with this project. You get? It's not up to you to now start doing research and start thinking and start brainstorming and start putting together, like looking for similar projects that have been done so that you can have an holistic view. So another example, because I'm on the advanced platform, when I finished my internship, I started a project on the advanced platform, and one of the projects that was given was, oh, we want a blog website whereby users can come and blog, like IT professionals can come and blog. We don't have that. Like, it's not an enhancement project, it's greenfield, it's very new. So I and the other BAs, we had to start doing our, that was all the PO said. That was all. Like, that was everything she gave us. So the business has asked that we create a blog website whereby people can come and, IT professionals can put their ideas and blog about things that they are facing in the IT field and all of that. And that was all I was given. And then,
Okay, so in this scenario with Ginika now, is
Yeah.
this your first meeting, or you already had the mandate before you went into the meeting with her?
Okay, so our pretend meeting was like she had to give me the mandate because I've never met her.
Okay.
But also because I also want to show how to gather requirements, I had to, based on the mandate, I had to ask questions. So it was a pretend. So it can go both ways, to be honest. In your mandate meeting, you can still ask questions because you want to understand the requirement. You get, and then come back and say, book a time and say, oh, can I have another meeting with you so that I can go through some of the requirements? Do you get what I mean?
Yes.
It's not a bad thing if you ask questions in your project mandate meeting.
Yeah.
As a BA, there's that expectation is already there. You can't just meet a product owner or maybe the business and they give you the project mandate and you are just mute and you say, okay, what do you understand about the project? You want to understand the reason, what's driving that. Like, do you get what I mean? And
Yes,
then
yes, I do.
go back and then do your research and come back with specific requirements that you, because that's your first meeting anyways. Everybody expects you to gather requirements. So it doesn't, product mandate meeting does not necessarily mean that that's your requirement gathering meeting.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I just needed that clarification that who gives the mandate, and in real life scenario, so like you said, you have a PO, and if not, then at that meeting you get the mandate. Okay, that's
From
fine.
the business, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Adenike.
Yeah, hello, Bolo. Thank you. Thank you for this. My question is just, when you're doing your elicitation, when you're gathering requirements, how long for the interview? How long does it take, or how long should an interview take?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I'm sorry I didn't mention it. Do not make your interview more than 1 hour. Like, don't. Human beings'
Okay.
lifespan, attention span is very short. Yeah, human beings' attention span is short. Don't make it more than 1 hour. Any interview that is more than 1 hour, like, reschedule. You get, like, break it down. Ensure
Yeah.
that your interview is 1 hour and keep to the time. It's very important. Very,
Okay.
very important. Keep to the time. So if you notice when I say, oh, thank you so much, Ginika. I don't want to take too much of your time. But
Yeah.
make statements like that because what you're sending to the stakeholder is that this person understands timing. This is a good BA because time management is part of your job as a business analyst. So yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome. Raymond.
Thank you so much for that. That was a brilliant free flowing interview. My question is in the real scenario, in the real world scenario, I imagine you'll be taking notes. So would it be okay to like take moments and pause and
Oh
like
yeah,
the interview
yes,
because it was very like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But I think
yeah.
because there was a lot of information that went forth, so
Yeah, the funny thing is I took notes. I can read out my notes for you. I
oh
wrote
wow,
test waiting
very
list,
close as well. Wow.
data, people, track care, 10,000 to 15,000, speed, reports, medical personnel, mission, about us, calendar booking, statistical method, Ginica, Tuesday, 10 a.m. I wrote notes.
Okay.
As a BM, you have to, like,
Yeah.
even if it was a play thing, because I needed to track, because some of the things she's saying, I needed to have follow-up questions. I even wrote cloud-based, yeah. So I mean, you can write short things so that you remember, you don't forget, you get,
Mhm.
and then it helps you drive your the requirements you are sending back.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, for validation. Yeah, it's very important. If you can also record, like ask the person, is it okay if I take a recording of this session? And if they say yes, go ahead and record. If they say no, I don't know. Just stick with your notes, with your pen and paper. Yeah, and again, another advice is if it's a face to face, ensure that you have a pen and paper because, of course, they expect BAs to write. So you cannot just sit and just be looking at. I mean, the person will think that is this person even serious? Can this
Yeah.
person even? Can this person? So have a pen and paper. Even if you are recording, have a pen and paper and just be like writing some points. You never know. To be honest, you never know. So yeah, always have a pen and paper. It's very important. It's part of your tool as a PA. Anyways, your pen and paper is your best friend.
Hmm. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
you're welcome. Adewumi, I saw Mohammed's hands up and his hand is dropped now. I don't know if it's still okay. So
Yes. I just want to ask you about like just about the recording. So is there any particular device you use for your recording or you just use your phone sometimes?
me, I use my phone. I don't
Okay,
have
thank
I
you.
cannot be transcribing nothing. I just use my phone and listen again and then write out. Yeah. I don't use
Okay,
any other device, just my phone.
thank you.
You're welcome. Adewumi.
Yes, thank you, Bolo. That was very informative and interesting. And Ginika did a good job as well. Thank you both.
Yeah, she did.
My question is, right, so if you take notes, obviously,
Can you increase your volume a bit?
yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah, it's better.
Right.
Thank you. Thank
So,
you.
my question is, just taking all the notes or recording this may be, I'm thinking 9 times out of 10, you probably won't get all the information required. So
Yeah.
let's assume this SME or stakeholder is someone you couldn't get hold of again. Um, Follow-up techniques. Obviously, you try and negotiate or reschedule an interview. If you don't get that, can you follow up with like emails? Can you use other methods? Is that acceptable to, you know,
Yeah.
after the interview, I'll do a draft. I'll send it to all the stakeholders. This is what we discussed. This is what I think you want. And
Mm,
then we go from there. But in case where you need further clarification, can
mm.
is it advisable to contact them by email? I'm thinking it should be, but obviously I'd love to hear from your
Yeah,
take on that.
very, very, very possible. Yeah, in some situation, like it's good to always, oh, is it okay if I send you an email if I need clarity on anything? 9 out of 10 times they'll say yes. I mean, almost every one of them will say yes because they understand the importance of this thing. So you can always follow up. Yeah, and that's why it's good for you to validate. So now after the session, you just type out everything, send it to the stakeholder, and then let them approve and say, oh no, this is not what I said in this place. Oh, okay. And then that kind of thing, that exchange, and make it a thread, like make the email a thread so that you can follow up. And yeah, so it's possible for you to do that. Very, very. Why not? You can even use me. I message people on Teams. Like I chase up people on Teams sometimes because I feel like emails can get lost. Maybe they have a lot of email. Before they see my email, it might take time, and I need this like ASAP. So I'll just send a quick message on Teams and say, oh, like this, I send it this, or I can send them an email and say, and go on Teams and prompt them, oh, I sent you this email. Please could you acknowledge, or like acknowledge and act on it. Oh, okay, I will. If I see that you've not responded in 2 days, I will send you another message on Teams, because I need this. So my job is to chase you up anyways. You'll get tired of me, but you'll be fine. Yeah,
That's great. Thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, now I'm tired. Now I'm tired. Okay, so we're supposed to do the Ruth.
Yeah, sorry, regarding to Adeomu's question, I want to ask, instead of the face-to-face interview and the workshop or something, Zoom is like a general platform that most people have applications for that you can do meetings on. Is it possible to like send a mail to them for like a Zoom meeting or something instead of chasing them around and all of that? Like maybe
Oh,
just send a mail for them,
I
just
don't know.
send a mail out to them and set up a Zoom meeting or something.
Yeah, the thing is getting them to jump on the meeting. That's the issue. It's not, and I'm not
Yes,
sure most organization use Zoom. I've not seen any organization using Zoom for their meetings. I don't know. But I know
yes.
many organizations use Teams, so you can say, oh, yeah, of course you can set up team meeting, but it's just that you need to know their calendar before you fix any meeting. Check their calendar and ensure that whenever you're putting that meeting is free, because it's just waste of time. If the meeting is clashing with another important meeting, they might not
Okay.
accept.
Sorry, the reason why I mentioned is because I feel like most stakeholders aren't always in the organization, like the users or something.
Aren't
Yes,
what?
most of they might not be in the organization at the moment, like maybe the users of the software or something.
Mm,
Like you want to like have an interview with them and all of that, or
with
maybe a workshop.
external stakeholders.
Yes, yes. So instead of the physical chasing them around, you can
Yeah,
like send a
you don't.
mail.
It's not every time you will see your stakeholders. You can have a meeting over Teams, like online instead of face to face. You can do it online. Your videos will be on. You guys are asking each other questions.
And sorry, is it more effective than the physical meeting, trying to chase them and all of that?
See, the truth is, you will never stop chasing stakeholders. I know it's not the sweetest thing to do. You can feel really uneasy about it, but when you need something from a stakeholder, the point of chasing is not like the physical chasing, but you might need to send several messages before you finally get what you've requested for. So stakeholders are not always readily available because I mean, you guys' schedule might not be the same. They might be extremely busy. Anything could happen. But yes, sometimes you just have to prompt them over and over again about it. However, it depends on your organization. For instance, if the stakeholder is in China and I'm in UK and I still need to do my job, I will do it. I cannot go to China because I want to speak to a stakeholder. You get? So
Yeah.
yeah, the internal stakeholders, the external stakeholders. Sometimes, like for instance, I work from home 100%, and I can't travel to the office because I want to speak to a stakeholder. All of us we work from home, so yeah, I'll just jump on a Teams meeting and then I can gather the requirement I need. So
Okay.
I mean, it depends on your organization. Yeah, face to face is good because you can read body language, and that's why most meetings, like I mean, on Teams, they will ask you to put on your video so that you can see. I mean, you guys are looking at each other, so it feels close. It feels close to the physical meeting, and then you can read body language, gestures, and all of that. Yeah.
All
But
right.
yeah,
Okay.
as uneasy as it is, you might need to chase up some stakeholders. Not all the stakeholders will not be readily available for you, but there are some that because of their busy schedule, they might forget. You might send them an email and they'll forget. And the business is on your neck. You have a deadline. You have a deliverable to give. Do you get? Like now, you guys are the ones, like your team is relying on you heavily. So this second week is I mean the second you are going into the second week of your sprint zero. You should have by the second week you should have all your requirements and you should have populated your backlog, because the following Monday will be your sprint one, and then everybody will be looking to you that, okay, where are the requirements? Do you understand what I mean? So you have, like, there's so much resting upon your shoulder that sometimes you don't have a choice than to run out. I mean, okay, maybe I should not say chase, message stakeholders over and over again, if that makes sense. Hi, Ruth.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Okay, has anybody thought about any project? So let's quickly try to do the workshop and see. Let me see if I can get us to use Miro board. 1 minute. So who has thought about the project for us for this our workshop? Nobody?
You have 3 hands up.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't on the screen. I do apologize. Yeah, so Adeomi.
I think there were some people's hands before mine, but I don't mind.
Oh, okay,
I've
please. Who are the
got
people? You are my PA. You are supposed to help me out.
Bolu,
yeah.
you are skipping my
There's
name
Who am I skipping?
intentionally.
I'm so sorry. Who is that?
Lola,
I do apologize, my
we
dear.
have Dimeji, Ni, Lola,
unaccepted.
Sean.
You that you are owing me. You want us to bring ourselves here.
Okay, so let me just quickly say, can I talk or is someone
Yes,
before me?
I don't know. My PA
Go,
has to.
go ahead.
My
Go
PA,
ahead.
what's going on?
Okay, I just wanted to add to what the last person said. So I think Agile pushes more for one-on-one interaction than emails and all those other things, like you said. From what I gathered about Agile, that you should attempt to meet one-on-one, except where it's not possible. So it's not just that you just that your default decision should be like via email or Zoom or anything. You should have tried the option for one-on-one, except where it's not possible. I think that's what Agile is about.
Okay, there's what you read, and there's practical. So it's going to vary from organization to organization. Oh, and yeah, as much as you can meet, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I know that that might not be the reality, but
yeah. So
I
yeah,
think
there
that's
is
one
one.
of the things that Agile stands on.
Well, yeah, I would say no. But yeah, wherever you find yourself, this is just what I want to say. Wherever you find yourself as a business analyst or any role, I don't know if some other roles are here tonight. Just be open minded and ensure that you are flexible. There's what
Mm,
you read for you to pass the certification, and there's what they
mm,
feel like. So like me, I there is a way I write. I mean, there's the standard way of writing user stories and acceptance criteria, which is given when then. A current company, they write it in another way, and I just have to follow suit. So
mm.
even though I still write it in my way, but when I'm breaking it down for the front end and back end developers, I have to write it the way they understand. So there is the book and there's reality. So in
Okay,
another
but okay.
organization, you might go to another organization and it's the way I write user stories and acceptance criteria that is acceptable to them. Do you understand?
Mm.
So it differs. So just understand what your organization does.
But is there not a general way to write user stories and or
Of course, there is a general way to write user stories and acceptance criteria, which is the way I write it normally, which is the best way to write it. But yeah, you can get the organization and make the suggestions. If they accept it, why not? I've actually mentioned it. It's not like my line manager opposes it, but the dev team has been used to a particular way for a while, and that's what they understand, and that's how they can easily develop the product. So that's what it says. So when I'm writing something like a feature, I write it with
mm,
the normal way, and then break it down into what they understand, which is not so far from what I know how to write. It's just that um is a little bit different, just a little, not so much. It's
mm.
not very far away. All right, who are the rest of the people? My PA, back to you.
Yes, you have Sean Sonny, please go ahead. You're muted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank
Thank you very much. Thanks, Bolu, for all of the for the facilitation and all of the lessons. I just want to know if the projects we're working on now will be deployed at the end of the internship for us to reference. You know, maybe when we're interviewing for our roles. Will the projects be maybe warehoused somewhere so that reference can be made to it in case the people interview will need to just see, or we want to show up for just to give more credence to what we can do.
Oh yeah,
That's my question.
yes. Definitely. So the thing is, these projects you are working on, they are real life projects that have been built, although you'll be given an environment to build it from the scratch again. But yeah, they are real life projects, so you can always reference them. Definitely put them on your CV. Why not? We'll give you reference based on the time you spent with us in Blue Sky. So the number of months you spent. Yeah, definitely. Of course you can. It's good for you to even reference it. Yeah, why not?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. What should we name our board? Oh? So I'm trying to create a whiteboard for us. I hope it works so that we can have a feel. And it's already 10 o'clock. Can we still do this?
Yes, we can, Obolo. You have one more person, the Meiji or your body, just one more person left for question, I think.
Okay.
The Meiji, can you go ahead, please?
Oh, sorry, my question has been answered. I thought I
Oh,
had
okay.
put up my hand. Thank you.
Okay. Can you lower your hand, please? And Sean too. Can you lower your hand as well, please? Thank you.
Okay, we are supposed to have ended this meeting. I don't know why my meetings take very, very long. I do apologize to people, to you guys. I'm so sorry. So should we postpone this so that people can go and sleep and then do it another day? Definitely. There will be a workshop for BAs, like a major workshop where we just talk BA stuff only. A lot of things that we can walk through because I'm really conscious of time. The
Yes,
last
please.
time, Rose specifically warned me and said, "Can we keep it to 10?"
Sorry, Bolu, how long will it take? Because we are supposed to be meeting our POs and gathering our requirements and doing all of that, and we might need some of the techniques. I know you've done.
Yeah, what you need is the interview technique, which we've done.
We don't need the workshop technique. Do you reckon?
For this, for now, no.
Okay, then.
For this project, no, because you're speaking to just one person. The workshop technique is for large groups.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's our agreement?
We're good.
Yes, please.
You can
Postpone,
then.
postpone it, please.
If
Who's that
everybody
person
agrees.
shouting postpone,
These people
postpone?
don't like work.
Who is that
Let's
person?
postpone it, please.
Somebody has really been shouting with a bass voice, postpone, postpone.
Please postpone. I'm tired.
I think it's Wumi that's shouting.
It's not me.
No,
Oh.
it's
Me,
not with
I've
me.
been,
You my
I've
PA. My PA likes work. He likes work.
no.
He
Me, I
has
like work. Oh, if I can complete it, I want us to complete. Yeah. I
my
want us
PA
to do
likes
it.
work too much. He wants
I
us
need.
to continue.
I can't start and start earning 1K a day like you. I'm really waiting. The little
Ah,
400 a
what
day, I'm
you
not
do?
doing.